your Inter Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This is the Big O Show.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All righty, good evening. It is a very good evening because the Miami Dolphins have defeated the New England Patriots 17-16. We're coming to you live, of course, like we will be for the next 7 other games, of course, from Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. Having some fun with all of you out there. We're going to take your questions, your comments, all kinds of good stuff. So if you guys want to join us, you can join us out here at Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. We'll be out here for a couple of hours. Omar Kelly is going to join us. Joe Schad is going to join us. They're going to talk. We're going to have some fun, and it's a beautiful thing. I got one of the scores right. I said 24-16 Dolphins. Well, I was right. The Patriots scored 16. We just needed that one more touchdown to make it 24. But overall, baby, listen, in the end, you knew it was going to be a tight game. You knew it was going to be a tough game in New England. You had to find a way to win a game. And while there were 3 times in this game, and the third one for Tua was the most, egregious one. But there were a couple times where he kind of held on to the ball too long, and that's how he's kind of gotten injured in the past, by holding on to the ball too long. And he has to be more aware of when it's crumbling, when things are going wrong. You got to get rid of the football. And they were able to overcome that turnover by getting another turnover. And that's where Miami ends up winning the battle, the turnover battle, and 2-1 on that. And let me tell you, New England also fumbled several other times in this game. They just were able to recover the ball on those other times. Miami had forced other fumbles in all of this. And again, Raekwon Davis goes down at the beginning of the game, so that kind of hurts you. Liam Eichenberg is in there instead for Austin Jackson. And listen, the offensive line, they weren't great. They were serviceable at times in the pass game. The run game was, half decent. You look at it overall, Myles Gaskin, 9 of 49. They rushed 23 times for 74 yards. Not enough. There were moments where they made some plays. They gave him enough time to make, enough passes, where Tua, of course, ended up with 202 yards, 16 of 27, a touchdown, an interception. Matt Jones was 29 of 39, 281, a touchdown, and no interceptions. And I'll tell you something about Mac Jones that I was impressed with. He was really good under pressure. Like when he has pressure coming at him, several times he completed passes. And I give the kid credit in that sense that he was able to do that. But ladies and gentlemen, in the end, it's about who makes more plays to win games. And Miami ended up making the more plays, and they end up winning 17-16. And now when you go look at the standings, the standings are going to look absolutely beautiful because your Miami Dolphins are going to be number one in the standings. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all that matters. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter what all the other stuff people can come up with. None of it matters whatsoever. The only thing that matters is who's in first place right now, and the Miami Dolphins are 1-0. New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills, and the New York Jets are all 0-1 to start the season. Now, can Miami play better? Of course. I mean, there's no doubt that Miami could play better. But overall, I thought considering, listen, there's so much unknowns right now with this team. For them to go out there and you know that they're not complete yet on the offensive line because of the Austin Jackson COVID issue. And now you look at them and they're 1-0, overcoming the Raekwon stuff, overcoming the Austin Jackson stuff, overcoming not playing a great game yet, right? It's game one. It's fine. You got plenty of room to improve now at this point. Bottom line is, what'd you do to get the victory? And you did enough to find a way to win the game. And to me, that's all that matters overall. So I hope that the Dolphin Nation is satisfied with what's going on. It wasn't beautiful, but in the end, trust me, New England Patriot fans feel a hell of a lot worse right now than the Miami Dolphin fans. The Miami Dolphin fans feel pretty damn good right now because you're 1-0. I mean, I can't. This was fun. This was fun. This is a good test for them, setting them up for next week against the Buffalo Bills. There were bright spots throughout it. Waddle, I thought, was terrific, and Waddle had that out that he did drop the ball. You know what I mean? Where Tua put it perfectly there. Again, these are all the little things. You couldn't get Gesicki involved in the offense as much as you wanted to, which kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? But again, they were trying to take out some of your main weapons, which is, of course, Gesicki, a guy that you would count on a lot overall, man. Listen, they won. How am I going to complain today? You know what I mean? Was it beautiful? No. Was it perfect? Far from it. Shades of the Wildcat even came back at times for the Miami Dolphins. But in the end, hey, look, the Patriots, eight penalties, 84 yards. Miami, 5 for 28. So some of the things that they have been known for in the first 2 years under Brian Flores continued today. They didn't make a ton of mistakes. It sucks to have Tua make that mistake late in the game, but you still had to find a way to win, and you forced another fumble. I believe that's 4 fumbles they forced, and they recovered 2 of them, if I'm correct. That's how it went. They were able to get back 2 of them, but Miami got 2 of the 4 fumbles that they forced in this game. And this is what now I think it's 23 straight games under Brian Flores that the Miami Dolphins have forced a turnover in a game, which is, again, impressive overall. Do I want to see Jalen Phillips be a monster? Yes, of course I do. I mean, but he's a young guy. He's got to learn. Do I want to see Eichenberg play better? Yes, but it's his first game. He's a rookie tackle, and the poor kid's been practicing on the right side, dealing with 2 injuries throughout the preseason, and now he's thrusted over on the left side, and he did his best. He committed a couple penalties, but overall, again, these are things that we have to kind of fight through. It's not going to be perfect, but in football at times, you just got to find a way to win the damn game. And there were a couple of those instances today in the NFL. And look, we already had a tie, right? It didn't, you know. Oh, they got the field goal at the end. Okay, so we almost had a tie in the game, and Bengals ended up getting it. I forgot because I know the last time we talked but Bengals had the ball, and I wasn't sure if it was a tie or not. I'm so focused on this game, what the hell am I going to worry about the Bengals? But you got to find a way to win the damn game. And sometimes it's going to be ugly, and sometimes it's going to be pretty. The bottom line is plenty of people picked the Dolphins. Almost everybody picked the Dolphins to lose today. I picked them to win. I had faith in them to go out there and win, and they got it done. Let me see what we got here. AFC leader, Miami Dolphins. Big W on the road. You all crazy? Do you realize how good that New England defense is? I don't know why. Are people complaining? Do we have people complaining? Definitely can play better. They didn't seem to have a strong offensive game plan. Well, I'll tell you, that whole Brissett thing, I don't know what the F they were thinking about. I mean, I love Brian Flores. I think he does a great job overall. I don't know what their offensive coordinators were thinking. I don't have a problem with Brissett on the goal lines, on the short yardage, 4th and 1 stuff. That's actually a 3rd and 1. That's actually a really smart move on their part. Brissett's much bigger than Tua. Let him take the beating. It's a bigger body. I have no problem. It's when they kept him on for the next one. That's what I did not want. And I didn't understand I think they were trying to draw him off sides. To me, that's one of those moments where you think you're outsmarting your opponent and all you did was screw yourself over. Again, not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Now, the question is, can you overcome your mistakes? And while Tua makes the mistake of throwing the interception, you find a way to force a fumble and get another turnover. That's how it goes. Sometimes you're going to win it on special teams. Sometimes you're going to win it on offense, on defense. You know, yesterday, if you're watching that Canes game, Appalachian State was making a difference in that game on special teams. That's where they were having a monster edge in that game. Sometimes you just got to find a way to win a game. And after all of these years, you know, I'm not going to sit here and nitpick when I've watched the Miami Dolphins lose these kind of games in the past. Now, what are you going to do? Now you got to find a way to win a game when you're not playing your best. And I forgot who I read that comment from, but he's right. I mean, New England's got a pretty damn good defense. At least a pretty damn good front seven. I still don't believe that their secondary is anything special, but their front seven is definitely incredibly respectable, and they are a force. And look,
ever look at your home and want to change?
One of the things that you do know is that they had a much better offensive line. We kind of knew that, and we talked about it, that they would try to establish the run, and that's exactly what they did to make the life for Mac Jones. Let's go to the head coach, Brian Flores.
Let a SunTrust checking account show you what it can do, like giving you cash back on debit card purchases from your favorite retailers. So sit back, earn, and enjoy the show.
I mean, look, he's a great player, and we needed a play there, and he was able to knock it off of him, recovered it. Obviously, a huge play in the game, allowed us to get the ball back. But then we turn around, and that's the complementary football that we've talked about. Offense goes in there, gets a first down, gets a good defense. We're able to run it out and end the game with the ball.
Brian, what went into the decision to start Liam at left tackle with Osman?
Just trying to play the best five guys. And, that was Liam's done a good job throughout camp, played multiple positions. And, we just want to start the best five guys.
How would you assess his performance today?
I mean, it's without watching the film. Without watching the film, it's hard to say, whether he played well or didn't. Look, there's a lot of corrections to make from the game, I'm sure. But I think Liam fought. Actually, I know that. I haven't watched the film, but I know he fought his butt off, and I'm sure there's some corrections to make, really, for him and really everyone on our team. But it's good to make those corrections with a win.
The defense put up some long drives, kept them out of the end zone, field goal, and in the end, another drive. How about that? It's kind of really
we try to take it one play at a time. I mean, that's kind of the mentality our team has. Good play, bad play. We just move on to the next play. A lot of corrections to make defensively. They were able to kind of make some plays, keep drives going, pick up third downs. We'd have them in some second and longer situations, and a penalty or there's one instance where we get a sack, but there's a penalty on it. It felt like every time we got a chance to get off the field, they made a play or we had made a mistake, but that's what happens in a division game. Against good teams, they make plays too. We knew that. We talked about this being a 60-minute ball game. And that's exactly what it was. We talked about playing one play at a time, and we were able to do that and find success at the end.
You guys tried to get a lot of pressure up the middle on Mac, and he hung in there a bunch.
I thought he did a nice job. I thought he did a really nice job. Got the ball out. Was able to kind of move their offense, pick up first downs, drive them down the field. I thought he did a very nice job.
What about Tua? How do you assess his play?
Again, like everybody, I mean, there's some corrections we got to make, but I thought he threw the ball well. I thought he made some big throws. It was a good run to get us started and a fast start. To start his first series. Ran it in, but I thought he made a lot of good plays. A lot of big throws that we needed. I know that third down to start the second half was a big throw. We needed it. Good throw, good catch by Devontae. So, like everybody, players, coaches, we'll make corrections and try to improve and get better, like we talk about every day.
What did you see on the interception that he threw? Was obviously under a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, I mean, look, like everyone on our team, there's corrections to make. There's corrections for me to make as well. But as a team, we're going to stick together. We're going to support one another, and we're not going to point fingers or do anything like that. And Tua's done a lot of good things for us in the preseason, and he did a lot of good things today.
Right, so a lot of film on Mac Jones playing first defense and whatnot. This is his first pro game. How did you prepare for him, and what in the end? I know you said he said some nice things, but what was it like going against him? What did he give you?
Yeah, he played well. He moved the ball. He made the throws he needed to make. He made good decisions. I thought he played well. I thought we could have done some better things defensively. We'll make those corrections. But he played well.
Coming for Hunter Long as well, coming back up to his home territory, and he was in on the first play and on the last play. What has your great impression of him been so far as a rookie, and how nice was it to come back and pick up a win?
Hunter's tough, smart. He's competitive. He works hard. It's important to him. He's made a lot of improvements over the course of training camp. It's good to get in the game and get a feel for a regular season game. He obviously played in the preseason, but good young player. Somebody we're excited to help develop. And again, like everybody, we just got to try to continue to make improvements on a daily basis and just try to get better.
The coaching package that you guys have, was that something that all along you had in mind when you signed him, or is it something that over the course of the last 6 months you kind of worked its way into?
Look, if we want to get 1 yard, we try to put our best players in there, and we it showed up in the game. And when we needed a yard, we put them in there. We got two short yardage plays, and we just try to put our players in position to have success and our team to have success. So he's done it before in the past. So we used him today, and it helped us.
Coach, what does today's game just mean about your team, about just finding a way to win, even though when there are mistakes?
That's every team in the league. There's never been a perfect game played. That's just never happened. So there's always corrections to make. There's always things that you can improve on, especially early in the year. Trying to find the things that you do well. There's a little bit of trial and error at this point in the year. So I think that's every team. I think every coach is going to get up there and say there's a lot of corrections we need to make. We're no different. But our guys work hard. They've worked hard throughout the preseason. It's important to them to make the corrections. And we're going to have to do that, this week, starting tomorrow when we review the game. And, our guys, we got a good group. They work hard. So they'll try to make the corrections. And then next week we'll play, and inevitably there'll be more corrections to make. We try to take it one play at a time. That's what we try to do. We try to take it one play at a time. We try to pick each other up, support one another, and it feels good to get a win. However you get it. Thanks, guys.
All right. There you go. That's the head coach, Brian Flores. We await the players now. They'll bring up the players, guys like Tua and all of that, and we'll break it down. Again, Dolphins 16-10 since their 0-7 start. They're 1-0 to start off the season. The coach really didn't give us a lot there. By the way, before I mention anything else, I got to thank those of you, of course, as you all know, you can help us grow, making a donation to Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Or sometimes people do it on the Super Chat. Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. We get 100%. These guys steal 30% of it on YouTube. Man of 1,005 holds. Thank you, sir. You dropped off a Super Chat. I appreciate you. Your Super Chat just disappeared. So I don't know if you can tell me what Man of 1,005 holds wrote on his Super Chat, but I was going to read it. G Firm, I know you send in a Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Says, what's up, Big O? Much love. Give me a grade on Tua's night, quick if you could. I would go with a C. I would go with a C. I didn't think it was an A game. I didn't think it was a B game either. I think he's got to do a better job of getting rid of the football, okay? And he's got to stay away from that turnover, okay? That's it. Remember, he threw one in the middle of the field that he got lucky. Now, that happens in almost every game in the NFL. Every quarterback pretty much throws one or two questionable balls that gets dropped, and you're like, whoa. You know, it happens in every stinking game for almost every quarterback in the NFL. So I'm not going to get too crazy about that, but I'm going to go with a C+ on it because I think he can still do better overall. And the holding on to the football and those 3 times he did it, that could get him injured, and of course, that can also set your team back. Overall, I thought he was pretty good. Okay, I gotta give him a C+ on it. I can't go A or B here. I need a little better than that. Leon Fresco, thank you, sir. Also on the Super Chat, I appreciate you. Did it sound like Flo thinks Liam is better than AJ? No, it's just that he played today. That's all. We'll find out. Austin Jackson, they probably, since he wasn't practicing all week, and even if he did some conditioning on the side on his own, they probably felt that it wasn't right to put him in there right now. So Eichenberg is the guy that's been practicing, so they threw him out there. And I got to tell you, they must have felt pretty good about it, because if they told Greg Little to stay inactive, that's also an indictment on Greg Little, because you've been practicing. You're in shape. You were on another training camp, and then you come here, and you've been practicing for a couple of weeks, and then there's a guy that picks up a COVID issue, and you don't know if he's coming back or not. And obviously, Greg Little didn't impress enough to become active and that they could trust him, because that, to me, was the key. When they put Greg Little inactive, that's a message from them saying, yeah, we don't trust you yet. No, we're not ready for you yet. And so, we'd rather play Austin Jackson without practicing all week long. That's an indictment on Greg Little. So Greg obviously has got to work on whatever it is that they're concerned about. But I wouldn't look too much into the Eichenberg Austin Jackson thing unless next week when they start practice, there's some kind of alternation or something going on. Look, you remember when there was that blitz that Myles Gaskin got eaten up? I got to go back and look at the tape overall, and I'll look at it. I don't know if I'll do it tonight, because obviously I got a show tomorrow morning, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow afternoon when I get off the air, and I'll look at it again. But it seemed to me like Jesse Davis also did a bad job of allowing him to stay with the defensive end. The defensive end obviously ran over Myles Gaskin all the way to the quarterback, and I thought Jesse wasn't blocking anybody at that moment, and he didn't do a good enough job of trying to position himself to help out Myles Gaskin in that situation, because I kind of felt bad for Myles. You know, it's one of those like, wow. Hey, we got a little Iron Maiden going on, 666 right now on the live board. The number of the beast is out there. Thank you. There we go. Love that. But so yeah, I think that I can't give to a big time grade here. I gotta go with a C+ here, because they won the game. He did make some really good throws. Jalen Waddle throws were just absolute. Even the one that Jalen Waddle dropped, he should have had. And there were a couple of drops for Tua there. I thought Devontae Parker also came into the game and did a nice job overall. Had a solid game for Miami and really helped them out in many areas too. So I thought that was actually cool to have contributions from Devontae Parker in this game, man. Let's see. I love how on Twitter one guy goes, Dan Abado, no post game on my tuner. Oh, here we go. Let's go to Tua. Do it. Here we go.
Well, I wouldn't say our opening plays are scripted, but it's more so we kind of know and understand how the game is going to be, as far as our personnel being in there and what to expect as far as their defensive personnel being out there. And you can kind of gauge what plays are about to come into the headset. Yeah, well, it's all about making adjustments, and that's what we tried to do the second half. Obviously we got to execute a lot better, and for me, taking care of the ball, that's big. So, yeah, I was trying to throw the ball away, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. Well, I was happy for him. It being his first real, game with a crowd like this. I mean, I thought he made some really good throws. And their execution on third down, I think, was really good. And Mac looks like he fits perfectly into their offense and their system. So I was happy for him. Yeah, I think that's winning football on the defensive side. And like I said, I think we got to do a better job at, making use of the opportunities that we get offensively. And I would say kind of giving the defense some rest as well, by either running the ball, getting RPOs, getting first downs, and kind of having long drives, so they can get their rest. And then to that point, playing complementary football.
So how did Jalen Waddle affect today's game?
Well, I don't think it was just Jalen. I think it was a lot of the guys out there on the field, Devontae Parker, and a lot of the things that you guys probably don't look at. On Jalen's first touchdown, you got Durham and Mike on one side, and they're picking pretty much for Jalen. And that play wasn't possible without, those guys. I think the line did pretty good too today. Up front, obviously there's some things that we got to clean up. And that's what tomorrow's for us.
The luxury of having Xavier Howard on your side, that when Davies aren't going great offensively, he steps up and helps you out.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just X. But having X is definitely really fun because, something or anything can happen. But it's really everyone on the defense, that helps with the turnovers. And that was just X. That was just X. So, yeah. And I think we have about 2 more minutes because J-Mac is here. And so, okay, less than that. 30 seconds, guys.
What's your impression of him been so far, and it's a special moment to come home and get a win?
Say that again, sorry.
Hunter Long is from this area. He played high school and college ball up here. What's your impression been of him so far as a rookie, and how nice to come back here and get him a win?
Sorry, I don't think I understood what you said in the beginning.
Hunter Long, you're running the tight end.
Oh, Hunter Long.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, no, I think Hunter's doing a great job. Although he hasn't been getting catches, he does what he's asked. And I think that's what you expect and that's what you want, especially for a rookie, someone that's just willing to go out there and do whatever he needs to do for the team.
Final question. You got a guy right here, play for the Patriots, blows so many connections. What's extra special about kind of doing it for these guys?
I think these guys will be the first to tell you that it's not about them. It's just about the collective work and effort that we've all put in as a team, going against each other. And our defense kind of emulates, the Patriots defense. So we have the luxury of going against these guys and, them making it hard for us to move the ball, to run the ball, whatever it may be. But, it is special for them because, they've obviously come from this organization. So it's a good win. All right. Thanks, guys.
Jason, what did you see on that long pass breakup?
Yeah, that's we're going after him right there. And when the quarterback fades back, he's fading back because he has to get rid of the ball before that last rusher who's unblocked gets to him. So when he does that, he's going to loft one up.
McCourty there. All right. That's all right. Let's get back to it here. Here we go. All right. So that was Jason McCourty. We just heard from Tua talking and McCourty there. All right. That's all right. Let's get back to it here. Here we go. All right. So that was Jason McCourty. We just heard from Tua talking. There we go. All right. Beautiful stuff. Dolphin Leroy, thank you, sir. Giving us a little love on the super chat. I appreciate you, sir. Big O, what happened to Mike Gesicki? Did the Patriots shut him down, or was he primarily used as a blocker? No. Dolphin Larry. Leroy, I'm sorry. Dolphin Leroy. Did you just say Gesicki blocker? Did you just say that, sir? I mean, I love Mike Gesicki, but we're not going to use him as a blocker. That's not like saying, hey, O's not doing the show. Is he on World News tonight? Nah, he's not going to be on World News tonight. You know what I'm saying? They shut him down, dude. The Patriots are going to take certain things away from you, and they're going to try to make you beat them other ways. So the idea was to kind of take the middle of the field away from Tua and make him go to the outside. So you saw a lot of stuff that went to the wide receivers on the outside, went to the backs on the outside, and then they occasionally were able to go and use the middle of the field, but usually there were crossing routes or things like that kind of got it. But they didn't do a lot of work in the middle of the field most of the time. They did a lot of the stuff on the edges and then coming out of the backfield. So that was done purposely. And what you're not going to do is, if they're trying to take Gesicki away, and that means they're paying attention to him, you got to go find other people overall. And that's what he did. And that's why he found Parker, and that's why he found Waddle. He used different guys in this offense. I thought Myles Gaskin, had a really good game today. They used Malcolm Brown on short yardage situations. That was very successful. But listen, in the end, ladies and gentlemen, we got to slow down a little bit here. Some of you out there are getting a little too aggressive. Like I'm watching here, the line is trash. Well, this offensive line hasn't been together for 5 years. And for those of you that visit our channel all the time, or maybe some of you just caught it now, because we're on every day at 10 a.m., and as I've explained to all of you out there, the 5 draft picks are not going to hit. Let me repeat that again. They're not going to hit on all 5 draft picks on the line. You just don't. Nobody does that. That happens maybe once every 40 years in the NFL, that somebody dedicates 5 picks to the line and they're going to hit on all 5 of them. So we're going to have to go through some growing pains to figure out how good can Austin Jackson be? How good can Liam Eichenberg be? How good can Robert Hunt be? How good can Solomon Kinley be? How good can Michael Dieter be? We don't know this yet. And to make any kind of determination that the line sucks and that they're terrible already at this point, it's just asinine. We have to be patient. They didn't play their best football, and they went to Foxborough and won. Okay? And they didn't have the better offensive line. They probably didn't have the better front 7. I think they have the better defense because of the secondary, but that's another argument that we can have some fun with overall. And they were on the road in a hostile situation. They had a big-time injury to their defense at the beginning of the game in Raekwon Davis, who I really feel is going to be an absolute difference maker for this team on the D-line and especially against the running game. So you've got to slow down a little bit, and we've got to have a little bit more patience. This is a team that is 1-0 to start the season. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that's on the schedule so far. One game, they had to go to Foxborough, and they found a way to win the game. And look, you look at the history of this series, right? And 22-12, 21-11, 27-24, and then there was that first game in Flo's tenure when that first couple weeks, they were getting routed by everybody, and it was 43-0. But outside of that, most of the games have been kind of close, and they've been decided by almost a score overall. So this is what ended up happening again, being decided by a score. And they found a way to win. Is it perfect? No. Do I want to get Gesicki involved? Yeah. Do I not want to see Jacoby Brissett out for some funky-ass second play? No. Do I want to see Tua turn over the ball late in the game? No, of course not. Do I want to see Liam Eichenberg commit a couple of key penalties? No. X, who had that fumble at the end, he gave up one of those first downs on that last drive for New England. He was late on a crossing route. And that's X. I mean, I hate to put it this way, but shit happens. And everything is not going to go perfect and not going to go your way. And listen, it was intoxicating in a way, that first drive. It was so magical. It was put together very well, and they scored easily, and they stopped them first of all. And then they came in and then scored. It's almost like we thought it was going to be easy. But they took the lead a couple of times in this game, and it was New England that was actually playing constant catch-up with the Miami Dolphins. Ladies and gentlemen, I've kind of tried to tell a lot of you out there, embrace what's gone on the first 2 years. Enjoy this rebuild, right? And like I told Greg Bedard in the pregame show, whether he wants to admit it or not, and while he was complaining and saying, oh, Flo doesn't know what the hell he's doing, or he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, the bottom line is they've gotten better and better and better every year. And so now they're 1-0. Did they win their first game last year? Because they didn't win they lost to New England, right? It was Cam Newton. So here's another improvement. 0-1 to start the first year, 0-1 to start the second year, 1-0 to start the third year. So they're already at an advantage that they weren't in the first two seasons. Listen, if you want to complain just to complain, then have at it and knock yourself out, man. But I am, as a hardcore Dolphins fan, I am sick and tired of watching them lose these kind of games. And now I feel like you got a shot. And that's what I felt like the entire game, at least. I never felt like they were going to lose. There was a moment where New England had a little momentum, yeah. But I still felt like they had a chance to win the game. And while the defense wasn't great at times against the run, because they did give up their share of yards, they were bending, but they still found a way not to break and stop them and make them settle for field goals or force turnovers. There's a lot of positives that come with this game, and I don't understand why people would be so negative at this point when you're 1-0. And to think that Liam Eichenberg is going to be a finished product, or to think that this offensive line has already written its book and this is who they are, or that this is Tua as a quarterback. And Tua did a lot of good things today. He made some mistakes. That's fine. He's a young guy. He's got to figure it out. Hey, man, I just saw Aaron Rodgers get his ass kicked by the Saints. And that's Aaron Rodgers. And he got beat by Jameis turnover Winston, who went out there and balled out and played like Aaron Rodgers. Right? I just saw Cincinnati beat Minnesota. So there are plenty of teams out there that would have loved to start 1-0, and they didn't get to start 1-0. And your Dolphins now in year 3 of Flores, now they're 1-0 going into the Buffalo game. Will that be easy? No, but Buffalo lost today to Pittsburgh. So here's the one thing that I kept telling you all offseason. I no longer feel like the Dolphins are going into any game and they have no shot. I'm not feeling that anymore with the Dolphins. Now I feel like they always have a shot. I don't fear because, they don't have the coaching or they don't have the talent. They got enough talent. They got enough coaching. They're just young. And that's the other thing that we cannot lose sight of. This is a very young team that's learning how to win. This is not a bunch of seasoned veterans, which they have over in New England. They have several older guys on that team, a lot of experience on that team overall. Hey, look, I give Mac Jones a lot of credit. I was impressed with him. He played very well when facing pressure. I thought that was impressive. I got to give him a little love on that one. Chris Adams is in the house. He gives us a little love on Super Chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. He says, Big O, this team gets better as the year goes on, and we'll be firing on all cylinders soon. Next week, Fuller's going to light it up. And I'm with you there. And then all of a sudden now you add Fuller and you have Waddle on the field. That's going to open – let me tell you something. That's going to open it up more for Gesicki now, because now you've got two guys that are going to take the top off the defense. And let me tell you, for all you Jakeem guys out there that are so worried about Jakeem, today is exactly what I loved about the whole situation with Jakeem. I want him as the returner. I don't need him out there as a wide receiver. But when you have enough wide receivers, you don't need to use them. But the first 2 years, they didn't have enough talent on this team. So they ended up using the kid, and he ends up wearing out. And he hasn't excelled there where he's had the drops. Today, you didn't have to use him, which is a beautiful thing that you don't have to use him. Keep him fresh. Keep him on special teams. That's where he's a danger, and that's where he'll make his money, and that's where he'll make, some damage for the Miami Dolphins, man. I love it. Seriously. I mean, that to me is absolutely the awesome part about all of this, is that this team has got so much room to improve, and Chris Adams is 1,000% right. You were 0-1, 0-1 the first 2 years. Now you're 1-0, and this is a team known to get better as the year goes on. Just find a way to win, man. Find a way to win. Dougie Fresh giving us a little love on the Super Chat. Appreciate you, sir. Get your water, take some breaths, and let's hear you remind everyone that we just won with your best Andres Cantor with a win! That's what happened, baby. A win. That's what it's all about. The Tuttle Army is in. Too many fans are either one extreme or the other. She's right. She's right. She's right. Mike Madej says, I sure hope the O-line starts to gel quickly because Tua, again, didn't have much time to throw. I know it's the first game, so I'm very happy. A win is a win no matter what. Although he did have enough time to make several throws. Again, I've said this again thing too many times already, but this kid still hung on to the ball 3 different times throughout the game, and it led to a negative play. So he has to learn to get rid of the ball also. That is a gift. It's a gift. You have to know when the pocket is crumbling, and you've got to find a way to get rid of the football. On that interception, see, the problem is he has to get it past the line of scrimmage, because if not, then it's grounding. It's intentional grounding, and then all of a sudden, it's a penalty, and then that creates another problem for the Miami Dolphins. So he was trying to get it out of over the line of scrimmage, but he has to find a way to throw it out of bounds, and he has to have a better understanding of it's crumbling, dude. Stop trying to make a play. He sees it. It's not like Ryan Tannehill that he doesn't see the sack coming. He doesn't see the pocket crumbling. No. He knows it's happening, but the kid is trying to make a play, and he's got to be able to learn and let it go and live for another day. What I don't want is that Tua could get injured on those kind of situations. To me, a lot of people freak out about the interception, and it sucked. But while it sucked, What's worse is if he gets injured. And that's what I'm really concerned about. So he's got to do a better job of understanding, okay, pockets crumbling. I got to get rid of the damn football. I got to find a way to get rid of the football. Tua's not Marino, more like Bob Greasy. No, that's not true. He's way more athletic than Bob Greasy, and he actually has a better arm than Bob Greasy, I think. Let's see. Big O, great game. Tua will learn from this one. I hope so, Andrew. I think he will. Last year, Tua was mainly throwing passes for less than 20 yards. This year, he'll be able to make many more kill shots. And he threw a couple deep balls. And early in that second half, when he hooked up with Jalen Waddle downfield, that was a sweet throw, man. That was beautiful. Good game to start, says Brooklyn Rob. We only won 3 times in New England in the past 14 years. And Flo's won twice in 3 years. He won the first year at the end of the year, and he won now. And this is why I laugh when people talk about players and switching teams and, oh, man, the players for, well, how Malcolm Perry and all these guys that went over there, Davin Godchaux, well, why didn't it help them win? Meanwhile, they have the coach that was with Belichick for 16 years. I think Flo knows Belichick more than any player on the planet. And so he's already beaten him. Now he has a winning record against Flo. You guys know that, right? He's 3-2 against Belichick now. So the disciple is beating the master. The Padawan is beating the Jedi master. That's what's going on. And remember, Miami will get better as the year goes on. This is why I'm inspired about this team, and I get that people, I don't understand it. It sucks that some people are kind of down on the team after game one. I'm not sure what you were expecting. I don't know if you were expecting a finished product. You were expecting this team that was going to take you to the next level or something. But I just think this is a good team that can actually get to the playoffs this year. I'm not looking at a Super Bowl team, and I'm not thinking that we're going to repeat the perfect season or anything along those lines. But I love this team to win their share of games like 10 or 11 and get to the playoffs. Are they going to make a big impact in the playoffs? I don't think so yet. But maybe they could win a game in the playoffs. But right now, 1-0, I'm going to take it. Bip Bop 66 chiming in on a little super chat. Thank you, sir. Bip Bop 66. And let's see what he says. Win in an enemy stadium against a division rival on opening day, priceless. You are correct, sir. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do that, to win on New England's field. It was even sweeter 2 years ago when you knocked them out of the bye week, and then last year you knocked them out of the playoffs. And this year you give them a 0-1 start. I'm not sure if some Dolphin fans are understanding this trend. Okay, you end the dynasty, you knock them out of the playoffs mathematically last year, right? You bamboozle them in the Isaiah Ford trade, and now you beat them here in week one. I'm just saying, man. I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm kind of tired of watching New England take advantage of the Dolphins. I kind of like the shoe on the other foot, where Miami is getting the better end of some of this stuff that's going on. That's just me, you know. If some of you out there want to live in misery, you can go ahead and live in misery. But for me, I've had enough misery with Cam Cameron. Okay, I've had enough misery with the end of Wanstead. I had enough misery with Adam Gase. I had enough misery, rest in peace, Tony Sperano. Okay, there's plenty of bad coaches that we've had here with the Miami Dolphins since Jimmy. I won't give Jimmy the bat, even though he came up short badly. I'll give Jimmy the break. But after that, we've had plenty of bad coaches. So I know what bad luck is. I know what bad coaching is. I know what terrible preparation is. I know what a consistently bad organization looks like. And the Miami Dolphins right now don't resemble anything like that. And that's the problem. Like when I was talking to Greg Bedard, and if you didn't listen to the interview in pregame, I I would tell you take some blood pressure medicine before you listen to it, because Greg has this view of it through Patriot eyes, and he's not a homer type guy either. He'll call out the Pats and all that stuff, but since he's living up there, he is kind of skewed in the way of thinking. And if you listen to him, he's really way off on what the Dolphins are all about right now, and all the progress. Like he was complaining about all the constant coaches, and I've heard this from some of you out there. Oh, they changed. Flores doesn't know what he's doing. He's changing a lot of coaches. Well, but if he doesn't like it, don't you want him to change and find another one? If he doesn't want this player, shouldn't he change it and find another one? And then, I've heard people, well, they traded away their best 2 players. Okay, and what? They still won 10 games without Laramie Tunsil and without Minkah Fitzpatrick. And guess what? They're 1-0 right now without Minkah and without Laramie Tunsil. So what's your point? They can change all the coaches. They can change players. They can cut guys. They can do whatever the hell they want. The bottom line is, what are the results? That's what we are. We're in a results-oriented business. So this is what it's all about. It's getting W's. It's finding a way to win a damn game and start the season 1-0. It's freaking awesome, man. I'm super pumped. I love it. Let's see. Richard Jacobs says, yes, it's a beautiful thing to win by beating the first time ever starter in the NFL by 1 point. It is great. I mean, listen, if that's the way you want to look at it, then you can look at it that way. In the end, I'm going to look at it as a win. I mean, losing to Cam Newton last year while he's running all over you, that was more depressing than this. And listen, maybe Mac Jones has got it, man. He handled pressure really well. He had guys barreling down on his ass and completed passes. I got to tip my hat to him. Hope they break him in half the next time around, but damn, he completed some passes, some tough passes. Let's see. Blade says they won in New England week 1. That's all that matters. BB had all the camp to prepare for us, and we still won. That's right, Blade. Damn right. You got the right attitude. John Patterson says Greasy is in the Hall of Fame. That's a good point, isn't it? He's got an arm like Greasy. Well, it might lead him to the Hall of Fame. He's got an arm like Breeze. Well, it'll lead him to the Hall of Fame. It's funny. Let's see. Let Me Live in Peace says, I was surprised Eichenberg started today. I think we all were. I'm with you there. Tuttle says it's a different game between now and the early 70s. Can't compare the two, but Greasy was a very, very goof QB in his era of run first. Yeah, but he completed passes, and that's all that matters. If you're accurate and you can place the ball in the right spots, you don't need to have a great arm. You just need to know anticipation, ball placement, all those kind of things are what's important. Why did the Dolphins blitz every play when Jones showed he knew his reads? Because you're still trying to pressure him. You're still trying to force. You do know they forced 4 fumbles, right? They did their job, and they got to him a couple times. And let me tell you something. New England got gifted points on that bull crap call on a Landon Roberts. That was a terrible effing call. Mac Jones was already turning around. He was bending his knees. He was ready to go down. And Landon Roberts, all he did was corral his legs to trip him up. He didn't go. Look, I'm all right with that call. If the guy's standing straight up and facing the line and the guy dives at his knees, call it. I got no problem. Even if it's my Dolphins, stupid play, it's on you. We can't. But what happened in that call, that gifted them points. So you want to play this game? We can play this game. And here's one more thing. They scored 16 points. All right? Let's not lose sight of all of that. They scored 16 points. So it wasn't like they got lit up for a ton of points. They bent, but they didn't break a lot. And they did enough. Well, considering New England's defense is considered more notorious than Miami's right now, right? Well, they made the plays that they needed in order to win. That's it. And New England, and it was them forcing these fumbles on hits, on physical plays. Tua gave them a turnover on a goof-ass play. It wasn't even a play that, I mean, they made a nice play on the ball, but it was Tua's fault that it was even in play. It was supposed to go out of bounds. Listen, we can play this game all night, and some of you out there, if you want to be bitter about a 1-0 start, it's really amazing how some Dolphins fans could be unhappy when the situation here is 1,000 times better than it's been in the past. It's so weird, man. I got to tell you. Patriots are a tough defense. People need to relax on Tua. That's what CDE says. Dami says Omar was wrong. Oh, because he picked the New England. Well, remember, a lot of people are wrong. A lot of people picked New England, okay? Only nutbags like me picked Miami to win. And TYK says Tua, not the guy. The end. There you go. That's the same guy that gave up on Gesicki in year 1, too. There you go. It's all good. Don DeJula says, what you're saying is people are unhappy when they have some criticism? No, it just sounds like I understand the criticism. I have no problem with some critique because I've been critiquing, right? I said Tua's got to get rid of the ball, right? Can't have that turnover, right? I did say that. But to just say that the line is trash and that Tua's not going to make it, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. And like I heard Bedard in the pregame show, Flores doesn't know what he's doing. But what do you mean he doesn't know what he's doing? They won 10 games last year. How does he not know what he's doing? How did he win 5 games with the talent he had the first year? How can he not know what he's doing? He's 3-2 against Belichick. I don't know. Has a Dolphins coach ever started 3-2 against Belichick in his first 5 games? I would like to actually know that stat of Joe Philbin's first 5 games. Cam Cameron didn't make it to 5 games. And pretty sure he lost all of them because he only won the Baltimore game. So he lost both New England games. I wonder how that stat rolls. Just saying. Tua's fine long as we have X. I don't know about that. I don't know how one means that the other one is going to help you out when they're on 2 different sides of the ball. This fan base is a bunch of whiny little kids. Now, Mike, it's not everybody, dude. Okay? Remember, I think most of us are really happy with what's going on. The negative are usually the minority. They're just loud. That's all it is. That's usually the way it is. It's kind of like you see all those, all these little protests that's going on with the anti-vaxxers. It's like 10 or 20 of them. It's like, those groups get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It's the same thing. Loud, but not powerful. Just loud and obnoxious, and they're trying to make their point, but they're not really getting anywhere because, everything's going the other way for them. Yes.
Since 2010, we had beaten the Patriots 8 times. Put in reference.
Wow.
And Flores has got
3 of the 8. Wow. Okay. So safe to say nobody's gone 3-2 in their first 5 games against the Patriots except for Flores. I don't know. And he beat Brady at home in the final game of the season, and needing that game. Strong, dude. Finns were 3.5-point underdog, but still pulled out the win. We knew it was going to be a tough day and was probably going to come down to a turnover in the end, which it did. Good win onto Buffalo. I'm with you, Donald. Donald Whitfield chiming in. Lena Pudi says the people who are being negative after a win against New England, like I said earlier, are the new age unintelligent children. At least I hope it's just them. Who should you feel better about the future of? Their quarterback right now, Miami or New England? Well, here's the problem with that statement, Darren Lee. if you're making any determinations now, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Those are the silly ass conversations now. After a win, you're thinking about who had the better line, dude. Do you know football at all? Who had the better line, New England or Miami? Who had the better running game, New England or Miami? Do you think play action and passing off of a running game that's effective is a little easier than a passing game without a running game, sir? Do we have to now make this football 101? Is that what we're doing now? Is it because some of you there will want to complain and bring up stupid shit like that because you don't know the sport at all and you don't know the game? Is that what we're going to do now? See, this is the kind of crap that goes on nowadays. This kind of stupidity. Whoa, who's got the better quarterback after game one? Wow. Holy crap. I tell you, man. Who was it again? Darren Lee. Sorry, brother. Appreciate you tuning in, but I got to rip the hell out of you for that stupid-ass statement. Dumbass question. Really, seriously, bro. Learn the game. You got to learn the game, my man. In this game, you need a running game. If you want Tua all of a sudden, he hasn't even played 16 games yet, so now all of a sudden you want him to be Marino and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Hey, there's not much of a running game, but we want you to go out there and dominate with your arm. I mean, you know, it sometimes it just gets to the ridiculous because there's a lack of knowledge of what's going on. The New England Patriots rushed for 125 yards on 30 carries. Do the math. That's 4 yards a carry. The Miami Dolphins did 23 on 74. That's less than 3 yards a carry. Right? Oh, no, just at 3 yards a carry. A little over 3 yards, barely a carry. 3-4 yards, huge difference. Harris had 100 yards on 23 carries. Gaskin had 9 for 49. My man, it's a lot easier to play behind the New England line for Mac Jones than it is for Tua right now. Wow. Just sometimes the things that come out of fans' mouths, you got to check yourself sometimes. And this is why I get pissed off, because things are really good right now, and to be nitpicking with silly-ass, who's got the better quarterback after game one? I live in a tree. I mean, come on, man. Jameson Bruce says Big O is 100% right about this. That's what the Tua haters don't understand. A solid O-line and a run game works wonders on a young QB's development. Young or old, my brother. Go look at Tannehill today. No running game, no win. Same thing as always happens to Ryan Tannehill. Now, you got the horse running for 150, 200 yards, and he's pounding the crap out of people. You think play action isn't a little easier? You think those linebackers aren't on their heels now? Because they're worried about Derrick Henry, and they're got to look, does he have the ball or not? Okay, now I can get after the quarterback. That half a second, that's it. That's all the quarterback needs. Learn the game, folks. Okay, if you're going to talk about the game, learn the game. And that's why I said, not a perfect day. Offensive line wasn't great. Running game wasn't great. Tua made a key mistake in the end. Defense gave up some yards on the ground. But in the end, they made less penalties. They had less turnovers. And they made more plays to win the game and forced more fumbles than New England did. So it all balances out. You know, they were talking about the time of possession, and I can look it up for you. And early, like somewhere in the middle to late second quarter, they were talking about how New England had 6 minutes more of time of possession. You know what the time of possession was in this game? 36 minutes and 43 seconds for New England. That means the Miami defense was on the field a lot. Miami only had it for 23 minutes and won the game. So they had it for, 13 minutes less, and they won the game. And they were wearing out that defense with that running game. Yet the defense was tough enough to find ways to force a fumble. I'm telling you, how you look at this in a negative way is beyond me. Because if they can get better, which is what they've proven the last 2 years, that they get better as the year goes on, this is their worst football. Because that's what happens every year now under Flo. This is their worst football right now, and they won. Antonio Salas says, people need to stop panicking about Tua. I think giving the facts that our running game wasn't great, he still played a pretty solid game today. Yeah, he did, man. I thought he did a solid job today. It wasn't great or anything like that, but he did enough. The Finns' game plan was really not to win the top aspect, Big O. Huh? I'm not sure what that means, Jim. You got to put down the drink or whatever, or the joint, and put that thought together a little bit better for me so I can understand it. But I appreciate you. Hey, I love your show. What's the status of Raekwon Davis? Dude, he was standing on the sidelines holding his helmet. They didn't even take his helmet away. I think they felt like, all right, you know what, big fella, you kind of twisted up your leg here. Let's see if we can get by this game without you. Get you rested up, get you healed up and ready for Buffalo, because we're going to need you for Buffalo. I guess they felt that way, and they got away with it. Outside of that, they're not going to tell us anything about the injuries. Flo doesn't give info. The Beasts in the East. Big O, who's the number one team in the AFC East? Yeah, baby, you know it. The Miami Dolphins. Benjamin Bell says people don't understand. Years ago, second-year players weren't even allowed on the field. Now they're expected to play like 10-year veterans. That's so true, man. I mean, when we were growing up, it took guys a little while to kind of take over and become the guy. You're right about that. And Scummy, which you got to love his name, anyway, or her, I see a guy's face there. Scummy says, any way you slice it, huge win at Foxborough. That's it. Scummy is 1,000% right on that. Craig Justice says, how some people are still so negative after a W is baffling, isn't it? I mean, it's not like you beat Appalachian State. Yeah, that was a shot. Y'all don't get it. The Patriots have one of the greatest defensive minds in the NFL, have an elite front seven, and they have one of the better secondaries in the league. I don't know about the secondary part. That one I might disagree with you. I don't really think their secondary is that special. I think that's the thing that's the weakness, is their secondary overall. Remember, when they get back their number one corner, then fine, but they didn't have it in this game. Wooback says, ugly win at Foxborough against Belichick. I will take that. Our O-line needs work. X and DVP did their thing. Tua did his thing. He was good, but he needs to improve next week, as most of our team. Exactly. Big O, the old Dolphins would have folded after that INT. Isn't that so true? That is so freaking true. That's what I said several times already on this show, that the old Dolphins would have folded. All right, let's do this, because I've been talking for almost a straight hour, right? Pretty much. Let me rest the voice here. Give me a couple minutes, a short break, and we'll come back. And we should be joined very soon by Joe Schad and Omar Kelly in back-to-back segments. So we'll get their thoughts on everything going on in the locker rooms with the team, their thoughts on the win against the Patriots. Remember, you can continue to chime in on the YouTube channel. You can always support us through Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Twitter, Big O Show. And Yahoo email. You can reach out to us anytime on the Yahoo email, BigORadioshow@yahoo.com. Quick break. Let me get some water here, and we'll be right back here on the Dolphins postgame show live from Sports Grill in Miami Lakes.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Lando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, lollipop blow in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchased with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com.
All righty, we are back, baby. Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. Folks, we're going to be out here for the next 7 games. All right, first 8 games are here. We did 1, and we won 1-0. This is the lucky house, so come on out here and join us, man. Next week for the Buffalo game, it's a 1 o'clock game, so it's an earlier start. So come on out here. Let's pack this place. We had a great crowd today, man. It was a lot of fun. And by the way, thank you to a lot of the listeners that came by to hang out with us today and watch the game. It was freaking awesome, and it was great for the win. The Sports Grill, by the way, the Miami Lakes location is at 15462 Northwest 77 Court in Miami Lakes. And come on out here. It's right on the opposite of 154th and the Palmetto. It's on the opposite side, on the west side of the Palmetto. So when you get off, you go west, and the shopping center that's right there, it's inside that shopping center. So come on out, man. Join us. It is going to be awesome. This thing is going to build up. We're going to have some stuff. Hopefully we'll have some giveaways down the line, all kinds of things that we're going to create here at Sports Grill. So please come on out and join us. Let's make this place a crazy time. Let's have some fun. The Jaguars game, we plan on being here early in the morning. We're going to serve breakfast. So, because it's early in the morning, I think we're going to start our pregame around 7:30 in the morning that day, which, get ready, Sean, we got to wake up like at 5. Anyway, so that'll be a lot of fun. So they'll be serving pancakes and waffles and eggs and all kinds of stuff. And you can have your beer and all that, of course. But I figured we'd get breakfast going because it's so early in the morning. I mean, you can have a burger too, but who doesn't want to have a little breakfast while you're watching the Dolphins kick some Jaguar ass? Which, by the way, it was nice to see Urban Liar lose today. That was a beautiful thing. Andy Breakstone says losing Trent Brown hurt them too, and no Joe Toney. Hey, man, that's how it goes, right? We lost Austin Jackson. They're a really young line. They have a veteran-filled line. They lose a guy. Hey, too bad, so sad. I'm not here to feel bad. I'm not here to feel sad for the New England Patriots. Okay, all right? They've done enough winning for 10 lifetimes. I don't need to see them win a damn thing anymore. And I am so glad that it's the Dolphins that ended that run 2 years ago. And now maybe they're constantly going to remind the Patriots that, you know what? The tide has turned. The Dolphins are the better organization moving on from here on out. Let's find out, right? That's the beauty of this whole thing. See, everybody that picked against the Dolphins this week, they were wrong. That's why you got to play the game. And this is why I was constantly debating with folks about how good this team can be. And, people are looking at me like, dude, you're crazy. How can you be so confident in these guys? Well, okay, how can you be so negative about them? I mean, I see them win 10 wins. I see them get 10 wins, and they're not even they're not even close to being a finished product. They didn't even have a quarterback that they were settled in on last year because the quarterback that they have now in Tua, he hasn't fully matured yet. And yet they won 10 games? I mean, give me a break, dude. All right, looks like we're going to get a guest in. Huh? Omar? All right, we're going to talk to Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sunset Zone, of course, with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. We love talking to Omar Kelly. O is now going to break it down for us. Are you ready, Sean, for a little open action there for Omar Kelly? Fire
the
away.
Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
Buckle up, baby. It's Omar Kelly. He is ready. Oh, how you doing, my man? The Dolphin Nation is a happy one right now, my brother. They got a victory, starting off 1-0 on the road. It's a beautiful thing. Talk to us.
Should be a beautiful thing. I don't believe you that the Dolphins Nation is happy. I've never seen the Dolphins Nation happy, even when they make the playoffs. Should they be enjoying a win? Because a win is a win. And I say this all the time. I'm viewed as historian because of what I do. We are the historians. I can't tell you the ugly wins that happened 3 years ago. All I know is they were wins. Yeah. That's not how history records that. Now, do you walk away from this game feeling concerns about a lot of areas and a lot of things? Absolutely. But it is nearly impossible to go into Foxborough and get a win. As you saw today, the refs aren't going to be on your side. You're going to have to take whatever you get, and that's what the Dolphins did. Xavier Howard took a victory from New England.
That's right. And let me tell you something. This is the first coach you cover that is 3-2 against Belichick in his first 5 games.
Pretty impressive. 3-2 against Belichick without Tom Brady.
No. He beat Tom Brady's ass in the final game of year 1, and he ended the dynasty. You show some respect, sir. Okay? Show some respect there.
Listen.
They handed Belichick and the GOAT a loss, and they told him, hey, you and your little avocado ice cream, get the hell out of here and go to the wild card round, all right?
Listen, and more importantly, Tua has never lost to Bill Belichick team, which is to me like mind blowing. Props
So
to
you're
him.
telling me he's half leprechaun now. I like it. I like it.
I don't think he particularly played well. Not that he played horribly. That interception at the end of the game, it looked like a throwaway. Should have been a throwaway. But then two Dolphins did have their hands on the ball before it was intercepted. So maybe he was trying to make a play. I don't know what happened there. But
Well, he said he was trying to throw it away in your press conference because we all saw the press conference already. The young man, I talked about this to start the post-game show here. He did it 3 times today where he kind of held the ball a little too long. And I know he wants to make a play, but this is the stuff that Saban talked about, that he got injured because he kept holding on to the ball, trying to make a play. It's not like he doesn't see it crumbling and the pressure's coming. He knows it's coming, but yet he's still trying to make a play. And on that last one, the third one, it was costly because it ended up as a turnover because he has to pass the line of scrimmage. And I think that's what he was trying to do. And he was kind of off balance, and he's a lefty. So it was kind of a bit of a challenge for him in that moment. But if you noticed it, I'm sure you did, throughout the game, there were 3 times where he has to get rid of the football. He has to learn when the day is done, the day is done, bro. Live to fight another day.
I know he can play better. I've seen him play better. I don't think he played horribly today. I thought the offense was well. I thought the play calling was pretty good. I didn't like the fact that they abandoned the run early, but then they went back to the RPO late. So ultimately, you do what you need to do to get a win, and that's what they did.
By the way, what the F were they doing with that whole Jacoby Brissett thing? Like, were they just trying to draw him off sides? Was that the whole thing? Because, like, I had no problem with the quarterback sneak. That makes a ton of sense. But then when they kept him on for that next down, I'm like, what the F are you doing? It looked like they were trying to draw him off sides, because if you do run a play, then all of a sudden you're now starting a controversy. It's kind of like the whole thing that I was thinking of. Could you figure out what the hell they were trying to do in that play?
I don't think Flores cares about controversy. We see how he used Fitzpatrick last year. He doesn't care. But that whole thing was a head scratcher for me. The whole thing, and sometimes coaches outsmart themselves. I mean, but when you're playing Bill Belichick and the Patriots, I mean, as I've said to you before, assholes tighten during Patriots weeks. I mean, it gets real tight.
Yeah.
I've been cursed out by 3 head coaches for the Miami Dolphins, and they all come on Patriots week. So it's, I've never been cursed out on any other week that's not Patriots week. So,
Oh, what does it say about the team that they committed less penalties, they had less turnovers, and they were physical, dude, because they forced 4 fumbles. Now, they weren't able to recover all of them. They recovered 2 of the 4, obviously, and the last one was the biggest one of them all. Yeah. But I thought that, when Belichick sits down, he's going to say, when we talk about some of the periphery stuff, we got beat on a lot of that stuff. And I got to credit Miami that their defense was bending a lot, but it really didn't break. It forced them to settle for field goals, and they forced turnovers in the process. The defense has some pretty damn good moments today.
I see it differently than you. If this is the way that they're going to play all season, we're going to have a long season. This bend but don't break, and expect Xavier to bail you out. It's I know it worked last year, but we got to get to some of those pressures that we dialed up. If not, what are we doing? Matt Jones looked like a Pro Bowler today.
Dude, give the kid credit. He was very good with pressure. Like, even when a guy's barreling down on him, he did it several times.
Yeah, and he
knew he was going to get clocked, and he put the pass right where it's supposed to be. I got to give the kid props, dude. Sometimes
I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, because he looked damn good in his first start. Either he is the second coming of Tom Brady, or you need to get your shit together on defense because
it's a little both. It's a little both. You got to give the kid credit. He played well.
He played well.
Defense has to play. They have to play.
Bro, if every quarterback plays like this, because let's be real about it, Patriots don't have much talent. They got Nelson Aguilar and 2 tight ends.
But they ran the ball. But you know this, dude. You love your offensive line stuff. They ran the ball, which made play action, which made everything easier for Mac Jones. Whereas Tua didn't have a run.
But as a defense,
it makes it harder for him. That's the thing.
As a defense, you gotta stop the run, contain the tight ends, and get pressure on the quarterback. You did none of the 3. You did none of the 3.
I saw your tweet early on, like, damn, they still can't. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, but damn, they still can't stop the run or whatever.
Like, bro, your first play of the game, you go into this game saying, got to stop the run, got to pressure the quarterback, got to contain the tight ends. You did none of it.
Yeah, but that drive, after you give up that play, that drive still ended in a punt. So
but you still it ended in a punt because you got a favorable sack or something like that. I can't remember what it was to get him out of field goal territory. Penalty maybe. I can't remember what it was right now. But I'm sorry, you gave up a 100-yard rusher in week 1. That's not good. That's not good.
No, it's not. But again, does it say something that you didn't play your best game by far? You got a ton of things to improve. But you go on the road and you win in Foxborough?
No doubt. You should be proud of that.
Yeah.
You should be proud of that. But I hate this to throw, but Tua's got to play better.
Yeah.
And your run game's got to get better.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, your run defense got to get better. We're not talking about a playoff team if those 3 things don't happen.
Amen.
And they could play better than what they played today. I liked how Jalen Waddle was used. Where was Mike Gesicki? Where was Albert Wilson?
New England did that on purpose. All right? New England did it on purpose to take out Gesicki. I can't answer the Albert Wilson one, but Gesicki, you could tell that they were focused on making sure that the middle of the field really wasn't a big threat or a big problem. They wanted to force everything to the outside because obviously the book last year that the Cliff Notes version of the book, because it wasn't a real book on Tua, it's just a little Cliff Notes that you have on him. Hey, he's not hitting the deep balls. He's not going to receivers, all those kind of things. So they forced him to play a little bit more to the outside. And to his credit, he did hit on some of them down there. He was able to make some plays too.
Yeah. I would love to see them be a little bit more consistent in the run game. And I know they started dialing up the RPO runs later on in the game, but, just got work to do. But it's great to pull off a victory. I didn't predict it. The only reason I didn't predict this because I know how difficult it is to go up there and get a victory in Foxborough. As you saw today, the refs are not going to help you at all.
Oh, that was a bullshit call. That was a major bullshit call on Mac Jones on Landon Roberts. The kid was already turning around, bending his ankles.
It's the Brady rule.
I know, but
you're going to get the Brady rule in New England.
If you're going, no, I'm not arguing with you. You are 1,000% right on that. But if his knees were facing the defender and he went at it, I got no problem making that call. But the way he was twisted around and bending down, Mac was already prepared. And to Landon's credit, I give him a lot of credit. Dude, all he did was corral his legs to trip him up. He never really tried to hurt him or anything like that. He tried to tackle him as respectfully as possible as a defender.
You can't touch a quarterback. You can touch a quarterback in a very small, minute area in a very small, specific time. Like this is the way the game is going. Defenders even know it. They understand it. You can't hit a quarterback low. It's just the way that it is. Can't hit a quarterback low. You can't hit a quarterback late. There's a reason why they wear red jerseys. Only time you could touch them during the week is on game day, and you can only touch them at a certain time in a certain place.
Right. No, you're right. I can't argue with that. All right, before I let you go, Liam Eichenberg, how surprised were you that he was the starter? And then were you even more shocked that Greg Little was inactive? And I think that's an indictment on him because if Austin Jackson, who did not practice all week and was out, and they were willing to put him in as the active guy, which obviously means he didn't really have COVID. He was just symptomatic.
No,
But
he had COVID. He just finally cleared and tested. I mean, a week off from practice, I'm sure he was watching Zooms and videos and things like that in practice. So it's just a week of rest. They played guys with a week of rest before, so that doesn't surprise me. It did surprise me a little bit that Greg Little was inactive, but you can only carry 3 tackles into the game, so it is what it is. These are and Austin Jackson plays special teams or contributes on special teams, so it doesn't. I would have loved to have seen Liam. He gave up probably the worst sack I've ever seen the Dolphins offensive lineman give up. He got pancaked, which I've never seen.
Penalties too. It was a rough night.
Had a costly penalty. It didn't cost him the game, but it could have.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but it's his first start. 2 negative plays in your first start. It gets worse. It get at a position you haven't practiced. All but this week. It could have been worse. Judon is 2-time Pro Bowler. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
And lo and
we
behold,
talked about this, and you talked about it all week with Judon.
Yeah, I can't even tell you that Austin Jackson would have performed better. I can't, because Austin had been struggling, the second biggest struggler other than Solomon Kinley, who, by the way, I want to point out, played a very good game. I haven't gone through the film yet, but I watched him. He was doing well. And
for you to say that,
yeah,
that's strong.
I'm going into watching the game, like looking to see. I saw plays where he was finishing people, and that to me is like, whoa, where'd that guy come from? You didn't finish nobody all last year. So he clearly knows, my tenure as a Dolphin starter is predicated on me bringing it every single Sunday. There's no more, I'm a rookie, I'm being, I got things benefiting me because I'm a rookie. They're gonna make excuses for me because I'm a rookie. Yeah, no, all that stuff is dead.
Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And, of course, you can catch him twice a week here. You'll catch him tomorrow with us here on the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report at 10:30 in the morning. And then you'll catch him again on Friday. And then we get ready for Buffalo on Sunday, which, of course, you're going to predict a victory this time, right? You're gonna predict the victory, right? Because, you need to even up that score there and go 1-1 on your predictions.
I will see. I got it. That Bills didn't look that great today. No, actually. And Pittsburgh, it wasn't like they lit it up on offense or anything, actually. I think it's what you talked about, actually, during the week. We talked about Pittsburgh a little bit. It's their defense. It looks like it's back. Everybody's healthy. They lost a couple of their... Man, Pittsburgh at their worst is 8-18. I got to put respect on Mike Tomlin's name. Like, let's not act like he's not a Hall of Fame coach.
Dude, I thought he was losing it. And then after learning about everything that's gone on behind the scenes with Ben, with AB, and with Le'Veon, forget it. I'm done. That guy was able to hide all that stuff behind the scenes and get the most out of those players more than anybody else has. That's all I need to know. That guy's a badass. It's crazy. I mean, how he handled all of that stuff. Why should people go to the Sun Sentinel right now? What are you working on, my man?
We have the 10 observations from the game. I'm working on a column which disagrees with your premise. I really didn't think this is a great defensive performance. If this is the best that they can do, I know they sealed the game, but if this is the best that they can do, you're not a playoff team. Simple put. So
okay. So if this is the best New England can do, they're not a playoff team too, right?
No, I didn't. Nobody ever said New England was a playoff team. I never said New England was a playoff team.
I just want to make sure.
Let's be real about it. You're supposed to be better than New England, are you not? You were last year.
Yes.
Even though they spent a ridiculous amount of money, they didn't spend it wisely. It was
no. I'm with. Hey, listen, I picked Miami to win today. Yes. I picked Miami to finish second in this division.
And I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I didn't pick Miami to win today. So, but I gave you my reasons on Friday. I'm like, I know how hard it is to win in New England. You got to not only beat the Patriots, but you got to beat the refs. So that's very difficult to do. It's something, the only reason that they did is because Xavier Howard saved the game. Like, it's praise God for Xavier Howard Make sure you get that man his money because it's still a problem, and keep it moving. Elite.
All right.
I was watching all the games today and saw the Jarvis Landry play and then saw Minka play, and I'm like, man, how many elite players have we just let walk out the door around here?
And you're still winning.
Yeah, we'll see for how long.
That's where I kill everybody. Well, you traded your two of your better players. Well, they won anyways. They won 10 games. Well, they're changing offensive coordinators all the time. Well, they're still winning. It doesn't matter. Well, because Bedard and I went at it in the pre-show, and he was like, "Well, Flores doesn't know what he's doing. It looks like he's confused and he's changing constant coaches." And I go, "Well, all they do is improve, bro. It doesn't matter what they change."
I give him props. He don't tolerate that bullshit, which is hey, I've been on the nasty end of Flores, and I can see where it's not gonna last. I mean, where coaches don't want to be around here and I can see it. So hey, as long as he wins, it's all gravy. Who cares? Who cares who you fire? Who cares how many free agent decisions you undo? Who cares how many draft picks you trade away? Hell, they might cut Noah at week 5. Who gives a shit? As long as you win.
I'm with you. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch his terrific work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Have a terrific night, my friend. We will talk tomorrow.
All right.
There you go. The great Omar Kelly. We really tiny break. We close with Omar. We start with Joe Schad next.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843. Dolphins fans, buckle up. It's time for the American Dream Lending Miami Dolphins Report with Joe Schad. When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. Call them at 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com. Here's Joe Schad with today's edition of the American Dream Lending Report.
It's a beautiful thing. There he is, the great Joe Schad. Make sure you follow him on Twitter as Shad Joe. Catch his exceptional work there at the Palm Beach Post. Look at him looking all purty with the tie and all. It's a beautiful thing. Joe, hell of a win for the boys. They play an ugly game. They're not their best, yet they go up to Foxborough and find a way to get a W. I think you got to walk away impressed with that.
I agree. I mean, I chose the Miami Dolphins to win this game in my pre-game prediction, and I was on the money there. Now, like you said, I mean, it took a big defensive play by Xavier Howard to seal the victory. It could be argued that Mac Jones was more impressive than Tua Tagovailoa. Tua showed a few good things. He had a few good moments, but he also had a couple of, not so good moments, including that interception where he tried to throw the ball away on the sideline and didn't quite have the arm to get it there. That is a little concerning.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Do you know anything about Raekwon Davis, my brother? And I know it's really hard question to ask you because they're so secretive about everything over there. But the kid was on the sideline holding his helmet, so it looked like a positive, but he never really, contributed like you would hope.
Brian Flores doesn't comment on injuries really hardly at all, so I don't believe he was even asked about it in his post-game press conference. According to the CBS report, which I'm sure you heard, he was doing sprints on the sideline and wanted to come back in the game. So that right there tells us, using some common sense, that it is not a season-ending type of injury.
How did you read into the decision at left tackle with Liam Eichenberg? How surprised were you it was Liam and it wasn't Greg Little, or maybe even the craziness of bringing Austin Jackson back and giving him the shot?
I wasn't surprised. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been hinting at it for days. First, I came out and said that if I were the Dolphins, I would play Liam Eichenberg at left tackle. Then when Austin Jackson was cleared, I tweeted, Austin Jackson is cleared. He's no longer questionable on the injury report. I said this morning, but it's my opinion that logically the Dolphins are probably going to start Liam Eichenberg at left tackle anyway, because Austin Jackson hadn't practiced all week. Flores' answer was interesting. They said, well, why'd you play Liam Eichenberg? He said, we wanted to play the best 5. Well, does that mean that even when healthy, Eichenberg is now considered among the best 5 and Austin Jackson isn't? This is something worth monitoring. Austin Jackson struggled in the preseason. He was not dominant at all in his rookie season. Now, Eichenberg did have 2 penalties and got steamrolled for an embarrassing sack, which is interesting because he hadn't allowed a single sack in 33 straight games at Notre Dame. But it is entirely possible that Eichenberg ends up the Dolphins' long-term left tackle and Austin Jackson gets a chance to compete against Jesse Davis at right tackle.
Hey, listen, it's just as important on right tackle. That's Tua's blind side, so I have no problem with that. And now we're going to find out this week when you go back to practice to cover it, is Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg maybe competing on that left side now, and they're trying to decide what happens there. And then, obviously, whoever loses by default is the guy that swings over and starts competing with Jesse Davis overall. And by the way, folks, smash the like button. Joe Schad picked the Dolphins along with myself to win today. So in celebration of Joe Schad picking the Dolphins, smash that like button. I gave Tua a C+ today. The mistake he made with the interception was bad. There were 3 times today, plus that interception. Those were moments where he held on to the ball a little too much and he got sacked. And I thought he did that a couple of times in the game. And then that 3rd time obviously led to the turnover. But he had several really good throws. And like I've mentioned here throughout the postgame show, it's a lot easier for Mac Jones to play his game when your running game is working really well and the offensive line is doing a good job than with Tua, who doesn't have a threat of a running game and the offensive line is inconsistent. So the challenges are different for both young quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I thought Myles Gaskin did have a few good runs, and I thought that George Godsey and Eric Stoodsville, with Godsey, we believe is the primary play caller, had a good plan. They utilized tempo. They, mixed it up. They used some run-pass option. I thought that the Dolphins' offensive game plan was way more creative and way more interesting than what we saw last year. And we also saw Devontae Parker get involved in a couple of downfield shots. Parker led the Dolphins in receiving yards, even though that kind of goes under the radar. The ability for Tua and Devontae to develop a connection when Devontae missed a lot of the preseason due to injury, and a lot of that was precautionary. We knew that Ryan Fitzpatrick and Parker had an excellent connection. So, and at some point you have to imagine Mike Gesicki will get more involved. Gesicki was not a heavy part of the receiving game today, but the Dolphins want to spread it around, and at this time, not to jinx it, but especially with Will Fuller coming back next week and Preston Williams not even active today, the Dolphins have a lot of weapons.
Since you were at the stadium, I couldn't see it all. I have to go back and look at the game tape, but I don't even know if I'll be able to see it if I don't watch the coaches' film. Or you're at the stadium. What were the New England Patriots doing to take Gesicki out? Were you able to kind of identify it while you were watching?
I did not watch that closely. I do enjoy going back and looking at the all-22 film. I hope that NFL and the NFL Game Pass have their, stuff in order by tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to be the case because I like to do my Tape Don't Lie feature, and it's harder without the, the all-22. Just in general, we know that Coach Bill Belichick tries to take away the most dangerous opposing player. And, the Patriots did not have the benefit of Stephon Gilmore, who did get ripped up by Devontae Parker in one of their more recent meetings. But it does make sense that they would try to double team Gesicki at times. So we'll go back and see if that's what, in fact, was happening.
We had, obviously, Alan Poupar, another one of our family members on the show like yourself. And he had an interesting suggestion that he thinks is going to happen this week. Preston obviously did not play today. He was inactive. He feels that Fuller will get activated, and then they'll place Preston on the IR, so he's out for 3 weeks, buying him more time to heal up, and they have the luxury of having Albert Wilson and Preston. I mean, and Fuller and Waddle and Parker right now, so they're deep enough. Do you think that's the case, or is there? Have you heard anything that Preston will be a bigger part of the mix going forward, or is he still trying to recover from that foot?
No, I agree with Alan. I mean, based on Brian Flores' most recent comments, and he never tells you anything about injuries. He publicly stated that Preston Williams is still having some trouble with his foot. That to me tells me that, yeah, he's probably going IR. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that transaction. It is interesting because they brought him back from the physically unable to perform, but I guess he would have had to be on the initial roster in order to avoid missing. Sometimes I get mixed up on the rules, but I think he had to be on the initial roster in order to be eligible, definitely for at least the first 6 games, but maybe even longer. So it's about roster manipulation, and certainly the Dolphins are as good as anybody at it.
How much approval do you have of the way they used Jalen Waddle today? Outside of the one drop he had that Tua put it on his hands and he should have caught it, but outside of that, the kid played a really good game in my eyes. How did you see it?
Yeah, I thought Waddle played well. It's obvious that he brings to the Dolphins something that they sorely lacked last year in terms of quickness, suddenness, separation. I agree that was a drop, but it wasn't an easy catch. Maybe I don't think it was as easy as everyone else seemed to think. I have to go back and look at different angles on that play, but I didn't think it was like a perfectly placed ball by Tua. But yeah, just how the sweeps, the motions, the shifts, the run pass, the quick pass, the screen, the slant. You saw, even more importantly, was the 36-yard completion prior to halftime to set up the game-tying field goal. That was a big play, and it proves that Waddle's not just a slant guy. He's a guy that can catch the deep ball, too. And after the game, Jalen said he found his mom, which is kind of cool, gave her the game ball from his first touchdown. He also said that he noted that his friend Devontae Smith had scored a touchdown earlier today for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that he's going to keep tabs of how many touchdowns Devontae has, which is good. You want to see that competitiveness.
I'm with you there. What does it say about the defense, the way they sold out? And I know that they were bending a lot, but didn't break at times and made them settle for field goals. And then the key thing for me in this game was they were physical and they forced 4 fumbles and were able to recover 2 of them. I thought that was another element that they added to the game. Talk a little bit about the positives and the negatives for the defense and what you saw, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, when Raekwon Davis goes out early, that's a big concern because he's the big man in the middle who clogs things up. And you saw Christian Wilkins force a fumble. You saw Javon Holland force a fumble. There was at least one other forced fumble. You saw Zach Sealer make a couple of big plays. You saw Landon Roberts get called for a ridiculous penalty. He said that he didn't want to get fined by commenting his thoughts on that penalty, the tackling the quarterback low. I mean, give me a break. It's kind of unfortunate, some of the rules in the NFL at this point in time. But
yeah, that Landon Roberts play for me was kind of made me sick to my stomach because I thought Landon Roberts was incredibly responsible in the way he tackled him because he really only corralled the legs and to trip him up. And I thought he handled it beautifully. It would be textbook on how you would tackle low a quarterback in today's league. Actually, instead, it was a penalty for him, and I thought that sucked.
And Landon is a guy who's got a nice smile, but he's a mean dude. And the Dolphins need mean dudes. Like a guy you would want with you in a street alley here in Boston. Landon's one of those guys.
Yeah, good stuff there. All right, before I let you go, give me a player that stood out in your eyes that you're going to be writing about and talking about in the Palm Beach Post that you thought had a pretty good game today.
Well, certainly I already posted a story about Jalen Waddle's debut, so we look forward to that. And at some point, I'm going to write about Leon Eichenberg. He said he found out this morning that he was starting at left tackle. And so, I don't know how I knew before him. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
maybe you're Sportstradamus, bro. You got him starting. You picked the Dolphins to win. You're on a roll now. So tell us next week, are they beating the Bills?
I don't know. I'm sure Flo will talk about rat poison. He was a bad mood after the game. It's just so Patriots-like. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's like every day the Dolphins become more Patriots-like.
Yeah,
And
you're right. You're right. But wait a minute. Just, and I hate to interrupt you on this, but us as fans, we should be super happy that they won and it's 1-0. And like one of the things I mentioned, they've been 0-1 to start the first 2 years under Flo, and they play better as they get deeper into the season. Well, they started 1-0. But if you're Coach Flo, you had turnovers, defense got run on. You know, you couldn't run the ball. So I can understand Coach Flo. Hell, man, you've been around some other coaches that even on games where they won by 15, 20 points, they're not happy with something. I could understand Flo after this game wanting to fix a lot of issues. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing we've learned about Brian Flores, and I'm sure it's the same for Belichick and Nick Saban, after a loss, they're more positive. After a win, they're more negative. It's just a psychological, mental strategy and approach. And, it's just getting annoying, though. Like, you can't even get a compliment about a player because they refuse to say anything nice about each other. It's just really annoying. It's like,
I know. It's the Tua question. You asked Tua a question about.
Yeah. I mean, I asked him, how did Jalen Waddle impact the game? He goes, well, Devontae Parker was good and the tight ends had some key blocks. And I'm like, you can't even say something nice about Jalen Waddle. Now, it's not his fault. He's doing what he's told.
Yeah, he's been programmed by the last coach.
Yeah.
In Alabama.
Yeah.
And now this coach too. That don't point out one player because they're leaving out the rest of the.
It's called. Yeah, they call it. We don't celebrate the individual.
Yeah.
Which how did that work for Xavier Howard? You almost lost him.
Yeah. Now, Joe. One more thing before I let you go. The whole thing with Brissett staying on for that second down. Your interpretations of what they were trying to do, were they just trying to draw them off sides and try to do something like that? Or were they actually trying to run a play? And I know that coach didn't address it, but I'm sure you guys will ask during the week or with the coordinators too when you get them. I'm sure you're going to ask them, what the hell was the method behind the madness there?
Yeah, that's a Monday question. I mean, certainly Tua did not appear injured, so it looked like they were trying to run something quick, and if it wasn't there, see if they could draw the opponent offside. I don't think it was a mistake. I think it was like something they had planned to do going into the game.
It's crazy. It was just I don't want to see that one again. That's all I can say, dude. That was just.
He's good on the QB sneak, though. We like Jacoby on the QB sneak.
No, that was smart. That was so well thought out. I'd rather use a 6'4" body. Plus, Tua doesn't need to take the punishment. So I had no problem with that. That was a great call. It was when he stayed on for that second down. I'm going, what the hell are they doing there? And I think we were all in the same place. Joe, thank you, my brother. After a long day, I know you've had a lot. We both have had long days here covering the game. Appreciate you taking the time. I'm sure all the listeners appreciate it. Thank you, my brother. We will talk later on in the week.
See you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. The great Joe Schad and our American Dream Lending Miami Dolphins Insider Report. Yes, sir. The great Joe Schad. And he predicted the Dolphins to win. So very few people predicted the Dolphins to win locally. I know myself and Joe. I don't know about anybody else. I think most of all the other writers picked against the Dolphins, and I think they picked the Patriots, which I'm just saying, it's just one of those things. I'm just glad that they're going to underestimate the Dolphins, and they're not going to think that they're going to be the team that I think they can actually be when it's all said and done. Gaskin skeptics piss me off more than the Tua haters. He is a good little player, isn't he? Gaskin has turned into a steal of a 7th round pick overall. Think about Myles Gaskin with a really good offensive line. He went 9 for 49. I mean, it's not bad, dude. That's pretty good overall. So if you actually had a threat of an offensive line that you can actually give it to him more, and he's a terrific pass catcher also out of the backfield, I got to tell you, I'm with you, man. How anybody could hate on Myles Gaskin, I'm with you. It's impossible. You got to love the way that kid works, the way that kid grinds. Folks, don't forget to please smash the hell out of the like button. That is about the most important thing you'll do. Thank you to many of you that have given us some love on the super chat. G Firm, Man of 1,005 Holes, Leon Fresco. Let's see, Dolphin Leroy, Chris Adams, Dougie Fresh, Bip 66. Also, I want to also give some love out to the folks on Cash App. Also, Ramon Martinez, thank you, sir. Jeff Babick, you did it twice, Jeff. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. James Jacques, also on Cash App. Appreciate you. And then on Venmo, we got some love also, and we appreciate all of you out there. Let me see where we got it. Michael Cracchiola, thank you, sir. Rod Romero, thank you. And Andrea Ota, thank you very much. There's love and aloha, Big O. That is very, very nice of you all out there. Thank you all for giving us some love. Remember, you can send it in on Cash App or Venmo to help us grow. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Always appreciate all of you out there for helping us out and helping us grow here on the program. Eddie Lepp says 2 years ago we experienced a L5910 loss. Oh, a 59-10 loss. I'm sorry. People called the team one of the worst teams ever. Now we're complaining about squeaking out a win in New England against one of the best coaches of all time. Eddie, I love you, bro. I love common sense. I love the macro, because we're too micro. We only worry about what happened at the moment, and we don't look at the big picture. And that's why early in the post-game show I said, hey, they're 16-10 since the 0-7 start. They won their first game where they lost their first game the first 2 years under Flo. I mean, you want progress? 5 wins, 10 wins. Now you're starting off 1-0. You got a chance to go, hey, listen, don't give me this crap that the Dolphins don't have a chance to win next week against Buffalo. That's a bunch of bullshit. Okay? That's a bunch of crap. And don't allow the negative people to get in your minds and get in your hearts for any of that. This is a different Dolphin organization. That's a different Dolphin coaching staff. And I believe the Dolphins will be better next week to take on the Buffalo Bills. I am convinced that they will be a better team going into that game next week. And they'll be a better team the following week and the following week and the following week, because that is the MO. I expect this to be the worst football they've played, and they won. So I hope all of you out there, give yourselves a moment to enjoy what's going on and stop living in the past. Jim Gleason says, I never complain about getting a win. Playoff spots are not awarded based on style points. Remember the Ravens. There you go. And you got to remember the Titans. The 72 team started with that O-line Hall of Famer like Langer and Little. Yeah. I'll take 17-16 win for the next 16 games. A win's a win, man. I don't care how you do it. Find a way to win the damn game. And that show me the toughness. And that's what I loved about Miami today. You can focus on Tua's bad pass, the offensive line. You can focus on the lack of running game, the defense giving up runs. I'll focus on they made the plays they had to in order to win the game. They forced the fumbles. They forced New England that no matter when they had some success, they ended up actually settling for a field goal when it's all said and done. And to me, those were victories over and over and over again. And on the road in a hostile environment, it was New England that made more of the mistakes than the Miami Dolphins. It was New England who committed more penalties than the Miami Dolphins. So while they can tell you that the Patriots sometimes were outperforming Miami, I can tell you that the Miami Dolphins were the mentally tough team out of the two. Right? It's a lot harder to win on the road than it is at home. It's a lot harder to win when your offensive line isn't playing well and you can't dominate with the run game. So Miami had more obstacles to overcome and showed me more mental toughness to win the game 17-16. They dominated possession. Miami won the game. Because Miami, in the moments that they were able to, they made the plays. And when New England had to make the plays, they didn't. So, yeah, Mac Jones played well, but Mac Jones didn't finish drives. The Patriots didn't finish drives. Now, if they would have finished those drives, it would be a different story. We would be talking about a different outcome, and we'll be talking about maybe a different outlook, too, after week 1. Don't let people feed you this crap that this Dolphins team is the same team from the past. They can go out next week and beat the Buffalo Bills and be 2-0. I said it throughout the offseason, and I'll continue to say it. Those days are done where you walk in with a defeated attitude, and even the blind-ass fan that convinces themselves they're going to win 12 games every year and they're going to go to the Super Bowl and all that, and they're always wrong. They'll get it right one time out of 50 years, but mostly they're wrong because they're not realistic. But even those fans now, okay, those fans have to feel positive about what's going on here with the Miami Dolphins. No, man, listen, in this world, you're not going to convince the people. If they don't like Tua, they don't like Tua. If they don't believe in the offensive line, they don't believe in the offensive line. There are people that are frustrated with Jalen Phillips. And I thought actually Jalen Phillips was starting to get better towards the end of the game. He was showing better pass rush moves and trying to get there. I got to look at the tape overall again. But Jalen Phillips is going to struggle. Like a lot of D linemen, O linemen, they're not strong enough. Their technique is not good enough when they get here. Jalen's going to have to learn, dude. He's a baby. He's an infant at this league. Big O, the Patriots max protected Max Jones. The Dolphins should have done that with Tua. Problem is, my brother, they can't run the ball. New England can. So you can play off of that because you keep your linebackers off balance. So they were facing different kinds of pressures than Miami was. Miami was getting pressure up the middle all the time too because they can't run the ball. So it becomes a whole different ball game there. And so if you're going to max protect and you're only going to have 2 receivers out there, it just becomes that much harder to get your offense generated. And if they're going to stack the box because they want to make sure they stop the run, that makes life a lot harder on Tua. Maybe they could have tried it. You might be right. But I think they didn't because they didn't have a running game. And if you max protect and you still can't run the ball, oh, my God. That's a bad thing, my brother. That's a bad thing. You got to be able to run the ball. How many years have we watched Dolphins teams make boneheaded plays at the end to blow a game? It happened regularly year after year. The Flores-led Dolphins are a different animal, and it's great. And that is Nathan Shellhammer. Nice job by you, Nathan. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. Exactly. New England has a very good running game, and they were near the top of the NFL last season. Yep. And they did pretty good today. Agba was a beast today. He was constantly getting held, and they only threw the flag once. You saw that too, didn't you, Eric? I saw them get away with a couple of holds. Now, the Dolphins got away with a little penalty late in the game, too. One of the right guard got off, and they could have got – but on the hold side, I thought the Patriots got away with a couple of them, too. I saw that also. But that happens in every NFL game, man. They can't call every hold. That's the problem. Listen, I got to be honest with you. The play that eats at me is the effing Landon Roberts play. Because I commend the Landon Roberts. He tripped up the quarterback. He didn't hit his legs. I thought he did I thought he was incredibly responsible, considering he was off balance and tripping up because of the offensive lineman he had run into. So he was out of balance, and he easily could have ran into his knees. And then, okay, yeah, give him the damn foul. It was dumb, but the way he did it, that penalty pisses me off because that penalty may not have ended in 7 points. Maybe 3 at best. Maybe another turnover. You never know. And then Miami wins a little bit more comfortably. My guy from Canada had a couple of QB hits. Egwavan. I saw a bang, dang, Cole, and them just over pursuing the quarterback. That's where the mistakes happen. A lot of things to improve on. But let's be happy that the Miami Dolphins got it done. All right? What about the offsides play where they blew the whistle and and they took the free play away, and Tua knew he had the two guys on the side. Tuttle, that is a great call on your part right there. I am so with you there. That again, New England. That's the kind of shit that happens in New England all the damn time. That's a great call, Tuttle. That's a great call. That's another one that pissed me off too. They had a big play available there. But nobody ever talks about those kind of things. Good job by you, Tuttle. Big O, the refs stopped the play when the Pats was offsides. Yeah, and they shouldn't have. It should have been a free play for Miami. That was bullcrap what they did with that call. I'm with you there. All right, it is time to wrap it up here on the show. We have completed our 2 hours of the broadcast. Sean Stanley, sir, by you. Thank you. Appreciate you, as always. We will see you guys like we always do tomorrow morning, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tune in. Nobody's got better Dolphin insiders than we do all week long. Omar Kelly joins us twice a week. Joe Schad joins us twice a week. And Alan Poupar from the Sports Illustrated joins us twice a week. If you like basketball, Ira Winderman's on with us twice a week. We got the best insiders in town, man. So we cover Dolphin football like nobody covers Dolphin football 6 days a week. And I encourage you, if you're local here in South Florida and you're watching or listening or downloading the show, please join us here at Sports Grill in Miami Lakes next Sunday. It's the 1 o'clock game against the Bills at 154-62 Northwest 77 Court, right off of 154th in the Palmetto. It's on the west side. On the north side, when you get off, you'll see the shopping center there on the right side. And come on in and join us. Next week, we'll be here rocking and rolling. And if it's a 1 o'clock game, we start 2 hours prior, 11 a.m. Sean and I will be ready to rock and roll, and we'll get you ready for a little Bills and Dolphins action. On behalf of Carlos, Frankie, all the great people here at Sports Grill, making it nice and easy for us. We will see you next week right here at Sports Grill as the Dolphins get ready to take on the Bills and go 2-0. Y'all be good out there. Much love.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge you tuned in.